Some of my brothers should be standing up at this point. Oh, no, 40 to 50 years have known my father. Stand up. And those who've known my father for 50 years or more, please stand up. Give him a hand. I'm just having a great time tonight, folks. There's a little more food left. Help yourself to more drinks. If you haven't had a chance to sign the big yellow posters, please do so. There's some great pictures up here if you haven't had a chance to see them. Take yourself to the restroom. Exactly, it's a big birthday card. I'm all about having an intermission, and my brother Paul said no, so I made you stand up and do nothing anyways. Basically, my father, Mr. Robert Stephen Maurer Sr., asked me, he called me and said, "Hey Charlie, will you lead the roast? People can talk good, people can talk bad, but we like to talk good, right? Not yes. Yes. About Bob. So, pretty much we have about 45 minutes slated to roast him, and I have a lineup of people, and those of you in the audience from St. Louis de Montfort Parish or the barbershop groups, if you'd like to come up, you will have an opportunity to say a few words, a funny story, a joke, a poem, whatever you would like to tell my father this evening. So we'd like to start with my oldest brother, Steve Marr. Give him a hand.
Well, you know, he said no presents, but when was the last time I really did what my dad told me to do? So I brought him a few things.
Oh no.
Something picked especially for you. So these were things that kind of reminded me of some of the events in our lives, some of the fun events that Dad did. And I was in the market the other day and I saw this, Fix-A-Flat. Now, Dad never buys a new car. And he always drives a car he never turns one in unless it's to the record. So we used to have boy weekends where all of us would get together, and every time we would have that, we'd come over here and he'd have a flat tire every single year. So this is a Fix-A-Flat. And if you haven't noticed, one of the other things that I really appreciate about him is that he's very musical. And this is an German accordion music book. See the guy there with the beer? And it's all in German, I don't know what it is. And this is a very, very important thing. It's a broom and a little dustpan, see? And when I was growing up, I had a bedroom that was terrible. And we spent, 15 years fighting about cleaning my room? 20 years, okay. And so in remembrance of that, I bought you a dustpan. Yay. Now, another thing. What? Another thing, this is a rock. Okay, some may call this petrified wood, but my father is very strong in his convictions, and he believes in things, and when he doesn't give up. And you know, I learned a lot from that. So, a piece of petrified wood. And these are neat little gizmos. Ever since I was little, he'd buy me things because he said I would be an engineer. And I said, "No, Dad, I'm not going to be an engineer." So even though I said I would and I didn't even study it, I ended up being one. So thank you, Dad, for that. These are little
Slide roll.
No, they're not slide rolls because it's a pneumatic slide. Well, you learn. And the last thing I have is a couple candies because he's so sweet.
Well, guess what? Guess who's next?
Who?
Me!
Again, when my father, dad, Bob, Well, I feel compelled to call him Bob because you all know him as Bob, but he's my dad, so I feel like I need to call him Dad. Asked me to do this, and I kind of broke down how I thought, what I felt in some categories. Early childhood, Santa Monica. I believe the address was 437 10th Street. Was it 90402?
Yeah.
Wow, I cannot believe I can remember that. Had a great avocado tree to climb in the backyard. It's a 2-story, 5-ish bedroom house.
Tell him I climbed it too.
He climbed it too. Yes, Father. What I remember from that house is our wonderful backyard barbecues, chicken, beef, hamburgers. We even tried zucchini. We watched Lawrence Welk on the weekends. And, you know, nothing's wrong with that, Dad, but I loved it. We'd go to Sunday Mass together, and my big brother Paul, who's been the MC, would make hamburgers. You know, we'd come home and do the hamburger dinner. It was a great time. My dad worked while living in Santa Monica in Huntington Beach, and here I was, I don't know, 8, 9, pretty short tyke. I would walk him down, 10 blocks, at least, for my dad to look. Well, at that time when I was so little, it seemed like 10 blocks. It was more steps for me than him. I'd walk him to work, get him on the bus, and then, you know, he'd get home from work and like, gotta go pick up Dad, and I'd walk back with him, and that was like a ritual for quite some time. And it built a special bond with us.
He'd run down the street and jump up at me and knock me down.
My mom at that time was ill with lung cancer, and she was in and out of the hospital. But our friend Mary, raise your hand, Mary, she moved in with us to help with not only being a part of the family, but you know, she pulled her weight and cooked and cleaned, and she helped me cook and clean, and was a wonderful addition to our family. Thanks, Mary. Dad got me involved in Boy Scouting. At that time, I was a Cub Scout, and then a Weeblo Scout, and eventually became a Boy Scout. I enjoyed, that comes later, Paul. It's not in this category. Our family did a lot of camping. Wow, you've heard about the station wagon. I don't know how many station wagons we had, Dad, growing up. At least 4 or 8. And here I am, I'm the youngest of 4 boys, right? Well, you know the back seat and then the trunk? I had to lie down in between. We'd go out to Tucson, Arizona, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and even visited my dearest grandmother, my dad's mother, Eugenia Maurer, in Holly Hill, Florida. Those are some of the trips I really remember and had a great time. And if you want to hear about the whole shark thing, talk to Paul. I'm sick of that story.
A shark ate Paul. Anybody want to see my scar?
After early childhood was, Dad and I moved down to Orange County to Fountain Valley. We were bachelors. I learned how to cook, wash clothes. I had a strict schedule, come home from school. Had to change out of my school clothes, do my homework, did a little bit of rollerblading, maybe I babysat some local kids, but really learned a lot of good traits around the home, Dad. Thank you so much for that. After that was my teen years. I finished off at, actually went to Mater Dei High School. Any of you guys remember Mater Dei in Santa Ana? I lived, my brothers Steve and Kathy, raise your hands. Well, you're not sitting together. My dad pawned me off. I mean, he had me live with them for a year? I don't know. A year. I gave my nephew Tim chicken pox. Raise your hand, Tim. Imagine a high school boy giving a 1-year-old chicken pox. Was insane. Because you had to go work up in this neck of the woods at, oh, you went to Denver. Oh, it was for women. Great. You leave your son to chase a woman. Okay, I get it. After living in Huntington Beach for a while, Dad had me come up here and live at Foster Road. I attended Brigetti High School and graduated there. Class of '85. I'll never forget the drive. Oh my gosh, LA, Santa Maria, LA, Santa Maria, LA, Santa Maria. It was great, but boy, quite boring. And I'd fall asleep and pretend to be asleep, and Dad's like, wake up. And kind of what got me through the hard times was a prayer. And I'd say, Dear Jesus, please bless my mommy, daddy, brothers, and everybody else I love and know. And then Dad married Donna, and I'd say, Dear Jesus, please bless mommy, daddy, and Donna, and my brothers and everybody I love and know. So this prayer got me through a lot of stuff as well. After the teen years came my young adult years. I went ahead and transferred up to Humboldt State University, lived in Arcata, Eureka, bounced down to Santa Barbara, Fish Camp, New Mexico, Fremont, Sacramento. I even went to Oahu and Maui, Phoenix and Indiana. But guess what? This isn't about me, is it?
We're supposed to have 2 minutes.
Oh, there's a time delay. Pretty much these are the quiet years. You know, sometimes parents and their children don't get along, or there's little things that get in each other's way. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I think things that are different is all right once in a while. Then came my adult years. Dun dun dun. Dad and I called here and there. He sent me cards. Who has seen my dad's writing? Raise your hand. His writing is, I think it's worse than a doctor's. So he'd write me these encryptic letters, and I have all of them too, by the way. Maybe we should start a museum of that. You know, he sent me these magazine articles and email articles. He loves to give me financial advice and religious items, St. Louis to Montfort, Lenten cards and holy cards. And I have them all, Dad, really, I have them all. And most recently in my adult life, my family has helped me purchase a new house. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm a new homeowner, so thank you, Dad, and family. I just want to close with, you know, my character has come a lot from Dad, Robert, Bob, Grandpa, which means, you know, I'll be a ham too when I grow up. Dad has such a musical camaraderie, a deep internal fraternity with all of you here tonight that I'm seeing. And it's pretty much a love. And me, he instilled a great difference between right and wrong. And we sang from St. Monica Choir to the Santa Maria Barbershop, Lompoc, Vandenberg Air Force Base. I sang with the Allen Hancock College Alumni Chorale and a cappella chorale, and went to Poland. I've sung in Sacramento, Honolulu, Phoenix, and now in Annapolis, and I've continued singing thanks to my father and the musical groups. And you know, Dad, I love you, Pops. Thank you so much. Kathy, we'd like to hear from Kathy Maurer next.
Don't worry about running over Charlie. I'm going to be short. Well, I'm the #1 son's wife. I got broken into everything. I was the first girl brought into the house. It can be a trial. Well, when Steve and I first started dating back in 1972, a few years ago, Steve didn't have a car. So who would pick him up? Me. Knock on the door. Here was Dad through the peephole. What do you want? What are you doing? Tried to scare me. Well, Dad, it's so many years later and I'm still here. It didn't scare me away, even though a few times it was almost there. Happy birthday, Dad.